So in the previous sessions, we have discussed the worm gates, what is the function, applications, advantages, disadvantages, and procedure, and what are the formulas we will get to design the worm gate, and what are things we have to calculate. Now we'll start with the first problem. Now see the first question. Complete the design. So we have to complete the design of the worm gate and determine the input capacity of the worm gear speed reducer unit, which consists of a hardened steel worm and a phosphorus bronze gear having 20-degree stud involute teeth. The center distance is to be 200 mm and the transmission ratio is 10 and the worm speed is 2000 rpm. So first they told that complete the design. So we have to design the worm gear. So what and all forces is acting, how much amount of heat is generated, how much amount of heat is dissipated, what is the efficiency of the gear, and whether artificial cooling is required or not. That is the complete design of worm gear we have to do. Along with this, they told you to determine the input capacity, how much power it can be transmitted. That we are going to calculate. So that is the questions we have to calculate. Then they told that the worm and the worm gear is made up of some material. They told that worm is made up of hardened steel and worm gear is made up of phosphor bronze. Worm is made up of steel and worm gear is made up of phosphor bronze and 20-degree stud involute teeth. That is alpha is equal to 20 degree. You can see here coming to the given data, worm material is equal to hardened steel, worm gear material is equal to phosphor bronze, alpha is equal to 20-degree stud. Next, the center distance is to be 200 mm. You know this notation. A center distance is represented by A is equal to 200 mm and transmission ratio is equal to 10, I is equal to 10 and the worm speed is equal to 200 mm. Worm is nothing but N1. So therefore, N1 is equal to 200 mm. So this is the data they have given. By using this data, we have to calculate the unknowns. So now in order to calculate the unknowns, we required speed of the worm gear, N2 we have to calculate. What is the number of teeth on the worm gear, that is threads on the worm we have to calculate. And what is the number of teeth on the worm gear we have to calculate. That is the basic things we have to calculate for each and every problem. And what is the module, what is the phase fit. These are the basic things we have to calculate. So now to calculate those things, first step. So first dimension of the worm and the worm gear. So now they have given N1, we have to calculate N2. And with the help of center distance, see they have given center distance, we are going to calculate D1 and D2. Now first, by using the velocity ratio I is equal to N1 by N2 is equal to Z2 by Z1 is equal to pi D2 by Pz. So now we are taking the relation I is equal to N1 by N2. So we are calculating N2 by cross multiplication. We will get N2 is equal to 200 rpm. Now N2 is over. Now we have to calculate once they have given center distance, with the help of center distance, we have to calculate the diameters of the gears. Now first, the pitch diameter of the worm D1 is equal to, so this is the formula, a to the power of 0.875 divided by 3.5, where a is equal to center distance in meters. They are only given, always we have to substitute a in meters, then we will get diameters in meters, then we have to convert into mm. So this equation we will get from the equation number 23.544a. You can refer this worm gear from the chapter 23. Now substitute a in meters. So they have given 200 mm. In meters we will get 0.2 to the power of 0.875 divided by 3.5. We will get in meters. We are converting now in mm, 69.87 mm, approximately equal to 70 mm. And should. Now we got D1 is equal to 70 mm. Now we have to calculate D2. So this is the D1 diameter of the worm. Now we have to calculate pitch diameter of the gear. So by using the another another formula. A is equal to D1 plus D2 by 2. Now substitute A is equal to substitute D, then we will get D2. D2 is equal to 330 mm. So this is the based on the first estimation, that is based on the formula we have calculated D1 and D2. Whatever the you have calculated the D1 and D2, it is not approximate, it is not exact value, it is the approximate value. And sure, any doubt up to here the calculation of D1 and D2?
No, sir.
So now we have calculated D1 and D2. It is the approximate value. Now we have to calculate exact value of D1 and D2. For that, now we are using another formula. D1 is approximately equal to 3 times of PC, where PC is equal to pitch circle diameter. We know that D1 is equal to 70 is equal to 3 into PC is equal to pi into M. So in this equation, M is the unknown. We will get M is equal to 7.42 mm, that is equal to 8 mm. So approximately we are taking M is equal to 8 mm. Now we got module is equal to 8. So whatever the things we are calculating, it is approximate values. And sure. Now again we have to calculate exact values. Now again we are taking I is equal to pi d2 divided by pz. This we know here. The notation I is equal to n1 by n2, z2 by z1, pi d2 by pz. We are taking this relation I is equal to pi d2 by pz. So now if you take I is equal to pi d2 by pz, that is equal to pi d2 divided by pi into pz is nothing but mx into z1. In the formulas I told in previous session, here pi get cancelled, so that is equal to m. D2 is equal to m into z1. We can write mx is equal to m, that is equal to axial module. Now if you cross multiply, D2 is equal to I into m into z1. Substitute I is equal to 10. Substitute m you have calculated approximately equal to 8. Z1 is equal to unknown. Keep as it is, then we will get D2 is equal to 80 into D1. D2 is equal to 80 into D1. Now we have to write one tabular column by taking Z1 D2. And sure, Z1 is nothing but number of threads on the worm. First take 1. Substitute Z is equal to 1 in above notation. Calculate D2. If you substitute Z1 is equal to 1, then D2 is equal to 80. Now take Z1 is equal to 2 threads. Then again calculate D2. Substitute Z1 is equal to 2 here. 80 into 2, 160. Then D2 is equal to 160. Take 3. Substitute 80 into 3, 240. D2 is equal to 240. Again 4. 80 into 4, 320. 5. 80 into 5, 400. So up to maximum threads on the pinion is 5. So that's why we are taking up to the 5. Now for 1 we got 80, for 2 we got 160, 3 we got 240, 4 we got 320, 5 we got 400. That is the diameter of the pitch diameter of the worm. Now see here, listen carefully. Now already you have calculated D2. How much we got D2? Here see, D2 is equal to 330 we got, right? Already I told that whatever the D2 you have calculated, it is the approximate value. We got 320. Now go to the table. Now see which is the nearer value to the 330 in this table, diameter D2. Can you tell? In this table, we got D2 is equal to 330. For that 330, which is the nearer value? 80, 160, 240, 420 or 400?
320.
320 is the nearer value, right? Therefore, so you can see here, since 320 mm is close to 330 mm, therefore pitch diameter of the worm D2 is equal to 320 mm. Now this is the exact pitch diameter of the worm, that is gear. D2 is equal to 320. Again, in the remaining procedure, you have to take D2 is equal to 320. You should not consider 330. All of understood?
Yes, sir.
Now, after calculating D2, again we have to calculate D1. Again we have to calculate D1. So again you go to the previous formula. Again go to the previous formulas. See here, we are having A is equal to D1 plus D2 by 2. If you take D1, D1 is equal to, we will get 2 times of A2 minus D2. Again calculate D1, so we will get D1 is equal to 80 mm. So therefore, the exact value of D2 is equal to 320 and the exact value of D1 is equal to 80. Understood? Next, calculate lead angle gamma. Gamma is equal to tan inverse of m into Z1 divided by D1. That is equal to, m is equal to 8. You have calculated previously here. See, we got m is equal to 8. Z1 is equal to 4. How you got Z1 is equal to 4? Can you tell?
D2 is equal to 320, no, sir.
So here, see, in the table, we got D2 is equal to 320, right? For this D2, see, first row, we are having Z1. Z1 is equal to, for which one we got? For 4 threads.
4.
Therefore, Z1 is equal to 4. They substitute and calculate gamma. Gamma is equal to 21.8 degrees. That is nothing but lead angle. And sure. So therefore, and gamma we have calculated. Next, number of starts on the one Z1 is equal to 4. Again, calculate Z2 by using the relation I is equal to Z2 by Z1. We will get Z2. That is number of teeth on the gear. Z2 is equal to 40. Module is equal to 8 mm and that is axial module. Again, we have to calculate another module, normal module. Mn is equal to m into cos gamma. M you know, gamma you know. Then we will get Mn 7.428 mm. So up to here, it is the calculation of dimensions of the worm and the worm gear. That is calculation of D1, D2, Z1, Z2, then N1, N2, gamma, module and normal module. Any doubt up to here?
No, sir.
And should. So here you are carefully have to take. So first we have to calculate D1 and D2. That is the approximate value. Again we have to take table. From this table we have to substitute the Z1 by taking thread 1 from 1 to 5. Again we have to calculate it. We have to calculate D2. So now we have to check whatever the D2 we will get previously. From that we have to compare the value in this table. Which is the closer value we will get, that we have to take it as D2. After getting the D2, again we have to calculate D1. Then we will get gamma, Z1, Z2 and module and Mn. Clear up to here? Next step is, after this, next dimensions of the worm. Now we have to go to the table number 23.85 from the page 23.117. So we have to calculate all the dimensions. If you go to this page number, you will get table. In this table, you will get the formulas. So we have to see, substitute Z1 M1, we will get L1. Substitute M, we will get H1. Substitute M, we will get HA1. Substitute HA, we will get DA1. Like that, all the dimensions we have to calculate both for worm and the worm wheel. If you go to the table, we will get the formulas. We are going to substitute the M, Z1, Z2 or whatever the unknown is there, and we have to calculate all the dimensions. Next, so that is the next step. Any doubt in the calculation of dimensions? Next, after that, we are going to check whether the calculated value is safe, right or not, or it is safe or not. For that checking, we have to go refer the table number 23.88. Now for I is equal to 10 and A is equal to 200. So in the table, we will get I and we will get A. Now in the question, they have given I is equal to 10, A is equal to 200. For this 10 and 200, we have to select the Varam designations. We will get 4, 40, 10, 8. In this, always first term is Z1, second term is Z2, third term is Q, and the fourth term is module. Now, whatever the thing you will get from the table is equal, is same as whatever the thing you have calculated. See, you have calculated M is equal to 8. You got Z1 is equal to 4, Z2 is equal to 40. So therefore, the design is satisfactory. We have to check that. So we have to write, therefore the design is satisfactory. So this is the first step. Up to here you have to calculate. Next step is input power capacity. Now from the Levis equation, we are going to calculate FT2 is equal to sigma naught to Mn B by into CV. This is the formula we are using to calculate the FT2, that is Levis equation of the gear. Always we are designing for the gear only. So therefore, now FT2 sigma naught 2 is unknown. It is the allowable stress for the gear material, worm wheel material. Since we have to take that one, so we have to go for table number 23.96. Since they given the worm wheel is phosphor bronze, for phosphor bronze sigma naught 2 is 103.5 Newton per mm square. So in data handbook there is a printing mistake, so it is 55. Unsure. So sigma naught 2 is not equal to 103. So in data handbook it is 103.5. So that it is a printing mistake. Therefore, we are going to take sigma naught 2 is equal to 55 Newton per mm square. Unsure. From the table 23.96 based on the worm wheel material, which are the material they will give. From that, for that material, we are going to take the value of sigma naught. Sigma naught 2 is over. Next, Mn. Already you have calculated Mn. Next, we have to calculate B, capital Y and CV. So capital Y is equal to pi into Y2. So pi 2 is the formula. Based upon the alpha, we are going to take the formula of pi 2. So substituting Z2, then we will get Y2. Next, to calculate CV. So CV formula is equal to 6 by 6 plus Vm. So before calculating CV, we have to calculate Vm. Vm is equal to pi d2 into divided by 60,000. So calculate Vm, substitute here, calculate CV. Calculate CV. Now here, sigma naught 2 is over 55. Mn previously in the first step you have calculated. Just now you have calculated. Capital Y is equal to pi into Y2. CV you have calculated. But the module B you will calculate in the dimensions. See here, in the design of worm wheel, you will get here face width of the worm wheel B is equal to the formula. So we will get here B is equal to 60. And sure. So whatever the value will get here B, that we are substituting in the next step. So therefore substituting sigma naught 2, substituting Mn, B, capital Y, CV. So we will get FT2. That is nothing but tangential load by Levis equation. Next, we are going to calculate dynamic load. Dynamic load is equal to FT2 by CV. So FT2 will calculate here, substitute. CV previously have calculated, substitute that one. Then we will get the dynamic load. Next, we are going to calculate the wear load. FW is equal to D2 B into K. Here D2 you have calculated, B you know, only unknown is K. So to calculate K, we have to refer the table 23.100. Based on the gamma you will get. So we got gamma in this problem is 21.8. So where you will calculate that gamma is in the first step you will calculate. See here we will calculate the lead angle gamma is equal to 21.8. So based upon the gamma, and based upon the material. And hardened steel, worm, phosphorus, bronze. Here they have given worm is the hardened steel and wormwood is the phosphorus bronze. Based upon the material and gamma, we will note down the K. So we will get K is equal to 0.69 Newton per mm square. That is nothing but load stress factor. So K we will calculate based upon gamma and based upon the material they given for the worm and the wormwood. So substitute here, then we will get the wear load 13248 Newton. Now we have to tell that as the dynamic load FD is less than the allowable load, the safe transmitted load known as the device. Hence we can safely transmit the load. So always FD should be less than FW. So up to here we have calculated the loads acting on the gauge, that is tangential load, dynamic load and wear load. And sure. And along up to here, any doubt?
No, sir.
Matadro, any doubt up to here in calculation of loads?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Now we are moving to next. They told in the question calculate the power. In the question they not given power. We have to calculate power. So power can be calculated here by using the three formulas. First formula, by using input power capacity based on the strength. You know the formula. Ft is equal to 9550 into 1000 into N divided by N2 into R2. You know one formula. In that formula, cross multiplying power, then we will get power is equal to Ft2 into N2 into R2 divided by 9550 into 1000. Substitute Ft2, substitute N2, substitute R2. R2 is equal to D2 by 2. Then we will get power is equal to 24.2 kilowatt. So this is the power based upon the strength. Understood? Next, another formula to calculate power. According to the AGMA, input power rating based on wear. So already I told that AGMA is nothing but American Gear Manufacturing Association. They have given one formula based upon the wear. Power is equal to N1 by I, K into Q into CV. By using this formula also we can calculate power. So here unknown is whatever the thing you have calculated CV, we should not substitute that CV. So here first we have to calculate Q. Q is equal to I divided by I plus 2.5. We will get Q by using this formula. Next we have to calculate CV, velocity factor based on worm speed. 2.3 divided by 2.3 plus Vm plus 3 VW divided by I. Again here VW is unknown, that is velocity of the worm. VW is equal to pi d1 n1 divided by 60,000. We will get VW. Substitute VW, then we will get CV. CV is equal to 0.174363. We will get. Again unknown is K. So based upon the center distance 200 mm, we are going to take the value of K. Already in this first session I told where you will get K. See here we will get K. See here there is one table to calculate K. See, based upon the center distance we are having K. Now see, they are in the question they have given center distance is equal to 200. Therefore for that K is equal to 0.485. This K we have to substitute. We are going to substitute and we are going to calculate. So now we got N1 you know, I you know, K, Q, CV. Then we will get power. So finally substituting all the values, we will get power is equal to 13.53 kilowatt. This is based upon AGMA, based upon VR. Again according to the AGMA, based upon E dissipated. According to this, there is another formula to calculate power. Power is equal to 3650 A 1.7 divided by 1 plus 5. Again substitute here. Here you have to substitute A in meters. Substitute. Again we will get power. Power is equal to 15.7744. Here we will get three powers. Three power values. Power we will get. One is Based upon the strength, we will get 24.2 kilowatts. Based upon the wear, we got 13.53. Based upon the heat dissipated, we got 15.77. In these three values, we have to take any one value as the power. So that's here. In these three values, which is the lesser value you got? So in these three, the lesser value is 13.53 based upon the VR. Therefore, input power capacity N is equal to 13.53 kilowatt. So it is based upon the AGMA VR recommendation. Least value you have to take. So in this way, we are going to calculate power. Any doubt here in calculation of power? Now you know how to calculate power. So we have to consider three formulas. In these three formulas, which is the unknown, that is the power we are going to calculate. Next, after calculating power, we are going to calculate efficiency. So already I told that there are two formulas to calculate efficiency. When worm is the driver, worm gear is the driven. When worm gear is the driver, worm is the driven. Now in the question they not told anything. We are going to consider worm as the driver. So by considering worm as the driver, so this is the formula to calculate efficiency from table equation number 23.604. Here already we know gamma, you know alpha, only unknown is mu. That is nothing but coefficient of friction. So before calculating mu, first we have to calculate rubbing velocity. Now we have considered worm as the driver. When you are calculating, therefore, rubbing velocity VR is equal to pi d1 n1 divided by 60,000 into cos gamma. When you are taking worm gear as the driver, then you will get d2 n2. Remember that one. Now we are taking worm as the driver, then we will get d1 n1 divided by 60,000 into cos gamma. Now we will get the rubbing velocity 9.023 meter per second. Now this rubbing velocity is less than 20, greater than 2.75. Therefore, mu is equal to 0.025 plus VR divided by 300. Again, there is a two formulas to calculate mu based upon the rubbing velocity. Now substitute VR, then calculate mu. Then we will get mu is equal to 0.054583. Now substitute this mu in efficiency formula. Substitute gamma, substitute alpha and mu, everything. Then we will get efficiency is equal to 85.22%. Understood how to calculate efficiency? Speak anything or understood or not?
Yes, sir. Understood.
Yes, sir.
So after
Understood,
calculating
sir.
efficiency,
Yes, sir.
next is heat generated. So next unknown we are going to calculate is heat generated. So the formula to calculate heat generated Hg is equal to mu Fn VR divided by 1000. So already you have calculated mu, you have calculated VR, only unknown is Fn. That is nothing but normal force. Normal force can be calculated by using the formula Ft2 divided by cos gamma into cos alpha. Ft2 also calculated. Substitute Ft2, substitute cos gamma, cos alpha, simplify, then we will get Hg is equal to, that is Ft2 is equal to 8282.5 Newton. Once you get Ft2, substitute in Hg formula, then calculate Hg. Therefore, substitute mu, substitute Fn, substitute VR divided by 1000, then we will get heat generated, that is 4.08 kilowatt. So now we will get the heat generated in the gates is equal to 4.08 kilowatt. Now we have to calculate how much amount of heat dissipated from the gate. So that is the formula. Heat dissipated HD is equal to HCR into A into Tg minus Ta divided by 1000. So here A is equal to radiating area of housing in meter square, that is equal to 14.4 a to the power of 1.7. Substitute A in meters. Why means we are getting area in meters. Therefore, substitute A in meters. Then we'll get area in meters square. We'll get A is equal to 0.9335 meters square. And Hg they're not given in the question. So we are assuming temperature of the gear is 65 degrees Celsius. Convert into the kelvins. Again, ambient temperature also they're not given. Again, we are assuming 25 degrees Celsius. Again, convert into kelvins. If they're not given temperature of the gear and ambient temperature, we are going to assume 65 and 25 converted into kelvins. Now you got A, you got Tg, Ta, only unknown is HCr. HCr is nothing but coefficient of heat transfer. So that we are going to calculate from the figure. From the figure 23.85 based upon the area. Whatever the area you will get, based upon area, we are going to calculate HCr. So for area 0.9335, HCr is equal to 320 watt per meter square Kelvin. And sure. So therefore, now we got all the unknowns. Substitute HCr, A, Tg, Ta, then calculate Hg, Hd. Therefore, Hd is equal to 11.5 kilowatt. So heat dissipating from the system is equal to 11.95 kilowatt. All of you understood how to calculate Hg and Hd?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Now you tell for this whether the artificial cooling is required or not.
No, sir. Artificial cooling ಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ.
Why?
Already 11.95 kilowatts heat dissipated ಆಗಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ sir.
So therefore, heat generated Hg is less than heat dissipated. Therefore, artificial cooling is not required. And so, amount of heat generated in the system is less than the heat coming out. Therefore, artificial cooling is not required. So up to here, you have to design the gear and you have to calculate the power.
Remaining 1 minute.